Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Goodcast Show. So before I begin, I firstly want to thank everyone for the responses to my previous interview with Datuk Kamlanathan, which incited a lot of anger and half anger, half support. A lot of messages were sent to me. Thank you so much. I'll be addressing them together with Datuk very soon. But enough about that. Today, I have a guest, a president of another party. Parti Rakyat Malaysia. He's part of the party that's very well known in Malaysia for its strong socialist beliefs and its stance aimed at addressing social and economic inequalities within the country. Yes, joining me today is the president of the party, and basically under his leadership, the party now advocates the rights of marginalized communities, equity in terms of distribution of wealth, and social injustice. We'll be touching on a few of the main causes that he's been championing very, very recently, and believe me, we are in for a treat. Now, his leadership has reflected in his time his commitment to progressive ideals and grassroots activism. Please welcome the lawyer by day and socialist by night, Mr. Ahmad Jufliz Bin Faiza. How are you, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Brother Vinod, for inviting me for this program.
Yes, thank you for coming on. In fact, I've had many. This podcast actually started off with a lot of support from the left. Many leaders from PSM has come on, and now you from PRM. Now I want to let's go straight to because we were having such I would say a very heated conversation earlier. You were sharing about a lot of your opinions and the things that you're fighting for, and I found it very interesting, and I would like my listeners to also get a sense of it. So let's go to some of the current issues now that's facing our country, and I would like to get your input on it. Let's go straight to the issue of the fuel subsidies. So currently, of course, the news has already been out that the government is planning a rollout of slowly cutting back on fuel subsidies. Our Ministry of Economy, YB Rafizi, has said that they will be proceeding with it. Now, what is your view on the cutback on fuel subsidies? Is this the right time to do it? Is this the right course of action?
Personally, it's not the right way of doing things, basically, what they are doing. But I can understand where they are coming from, because today, you see, because we actually have our own oil in our Petronas. We have a lot of other places where we do our own drilling and so on. You see, Petronas is not just within Malaysia. They already expand in Africa's country, even in Uzbekistan and so on. You see. So we feel that basically we have our own reserve and our own well. But at the same time, we are also taking advantage over the price going up because of this geopolitics situation today. What happened in Europe, in the Russia situation where they attacked the pipeline. And now why they take out this Palestine, because it's not just partly of the greater Israel, but actually because they have seen because of the reserve, the natural gas, all that. So they also offering a reserve, you see, to the Europe. So we also going together to share with this price going up, you see? And we thought that this is the only way. Also, we have to make some money and try to reduce our subsidy.
Yes.
But my concern is that, you see, the reason being why all this happened, because our main development is always based on debts. So the reason being, why the government want to cut this subsidy, you see, because they want to find way how, because end of the year they are offering another 50% increase of the civil servant. So
salary. How
you want to promise something that that we are still in the debt economy? Every year is budget deficit. The last budget, what I read about 300 billion, enough to sustain our payroll and our government expenditure. But for development, we don't have. So basically, what we do is we loan for the debt development. And now, when you want to increase this penjawat awam's salary, I can see that the government have to find way to cut certain here and there to tailor-make that, and also hoping that this coming KWSP, this third account, to go up, people will start spending all that, so enough to sustain the liquidity of the economy. So,
but that's also a very interesting issue you bring up, and I am sort of torn with this because when you talk, a lot of people have voiced against the third account. In fact, a lot of people before that also voiced against the withdrawal, the 10,000 withdrawals that happened. But when you have a people who don't have enough funds to run their daily life, isn't this the only option?
They actually made the other option, but as I say, the government the system doesn't want to protect the people. That's what I can say.
Okay, so how then, if without the third account, how is that? If you say the government did not introduce that, did not allow people to withdraw 10,000, how is that then going to protect the people?
That's why government now in what they call it, in a difficult situation. Reason being because their way of development is towards using debt to produce the economy, you see. But they actually does not giving debt for the right people to produce the economy. They are giving to the certain group of people to get certain big of project. You see, from there they're hoping that they will give income to the people. They can produce something. But what about the SME, small medium enterprise people? Until today, I can see, you see, during the election, during Kuala Lumpur election, I can see at that time, you see, for the first time, the SME of the Chinese sector feel uncomfortable. The last time I can see most of the Malay from day one until today having all problem how to increase their SME power, you see. But now even the Chinese section, because they realize now, even the present government, the project given to the big companies. You see? So that's why we are concerned, you see, because now we face about food security. Like for example, we are worried about even control products. You know, if you say if this control product, if price go up, people will go for revolution. But today, price go up like chicken, egg, and even you don't have even to find beras madani also. So what I'm trying to say that the government don't have a right policy for the people. You see? I can share you another one thing. If you look at the Bank Negara statistic, you see, the money lending in the system is about 2.2 trillion. But money in circulation today, our paper money, is only 150 billion. You got only 5-6% money supply is only 5-6% in the market, but you have about 95% debt economy that everybody have to pay. And most of this 2.2 trillion money, you call it as legal tender lending, 70% goes to the speculative market, property market. It's not a productive economy. And you have only about 5-6% money lending to the SME. So SME produce about 70% workforce of the nation, about 65% of KDNK, Keluaran Negara Kasar, and you are helping SME is only about 5-6% of your financing as a whole.
Well, that is a very disproportionate.
Disproportionate. And this 5-6% of the money lending to SME is similar to the money given to the credit card and the personal loan, which is not collateralized. About 5-6% also. So you just imagine you allowing people just to spend and buy property of a speculative property market and no production.
Now, recently, another one of my guests who came on, his name is Vishnu. He runs a company called Vidola, which is a home maintenance app. He sort of became a bit famous a few months ago when he went to an event. KL, I forget what's the name, but it's an SME event where the Prime Minister had spoken and mentioned that, this month we are bringing in this much of investment, foreign investment and all that into the country. He voiced out his anger and said that despite the money coming in, he was not told how that money will trickle down to the SMEs and to his businesses like himself, or startups and all that. So in your opinion, do you think that this whole talk about FDIs and all that is just pettifogging the whole, just blinding people from what is actually happening? Or does these FDIs that's been announced, recently we hear that Microsoft is going to invest in development of our data, local data structure. Do you think all that actually works?
No, no, because we are not making Star Wars. This is not
Star Wars.
okay. This is not what they call it, something which is difficult to do. You see, about this foreign investment thing, you know, FDI. People talk about FDI, hoping Microsoft to come in, you know. All this digital data coming
NVIDIA
in,
and
the media, all that. See, my concern is that why you need this FDI? Our country is throughout the year having rain, having sunshine. You know, you can throw something in the backyard of your house. You can, you know, you can do a lot of things. You can produce a lot of things. And then we are surrounding with the water, you see. And then, our land is not just the fatherland. This is tanah air. You see, we got water, we got land. You see, yeah. So I don't see why we cannot produce. You see, if the government, for example, I did raise a few months back. I don't know whether I put in one of my statement during the election, because I said if even Petronas putting 10 billion money and giving at least 100,000 to the SME, you can get about 10,000 SME now to create food for food security. It's very fast. 3, 4, 6 months you can do. You can do chicken, you can, you know, you can breed per fish, all that. In fact, for last 1 year, I also breeding fish in Bukit Tinggi. You see, I also do my own. Within 4, 5 months, I can get my ikan keli, my tilapia. But I don't not enough money to do a lot of pond. But I can see is if you can narrow down to give right SME, you can just produce. You know, and today we have problem with the import permit, you know, food, all that. See, why control over the import? You see, why you cannot raise our paddy, our chicken, all that? So I can see no reason. That's one. As far as food is concerned, this digital data, my concern about Microsoft coming in. You see, why we need everything being digitalized? Why we don't spend money, research, scientific research, and giving to our people to do our own application. You see, we don't think about, people will say, Ahmad, don't think about that because now they got so many applications, you know, just waiting in the market. You know, because they've been all this research. I say I could understand that, but at the same time, you know, we can do a simple application for our people to move using technology. You know, we can understand what is AI. You see today, you see, but why giving everything to the big company, multinational company? I don't see the reason why you cannot do this. Like what you are doing now, you see, you are actually into this direction. You see, now we are moving into what they call it Web 3. The first time, at that time, they call it Web 1, where everything is just station. You see, your internet, your information. You know. Then now we are moving into interactive. Now we are interactive. You see, but now we are moving to the third stage. You know, this visual reality thing. You see. So my concern is that why we are actually too aggressively want to follow this agenda and having multinational coming to invest. You know, I don't see why we cannot do this.
It's interesting then you talk about that. So I guess the next point that we have to address is definitely the current announcement of BlackRock's involvement in MEHB. People have again voiced out their concerns as well. Even for me, having such a gigantic company come into Malaysia, I don't understand why. What is your opinion?
I've been raised this many times about this BlackRock thing actually. You see. Today, one of the few biggest multinational investment company in the world is BlackRock, Fertility, State Street, and Vanguard. These are the 4 biggest having trust mutual fund internationally. They over more than 10 trillion money. You see, they invest. For example, like BlackRock. We are concerned now because they also funding US defense manufacture.
Exactly.
Where actually supporting Israel to attack Gaza, all that. So we are concerned about that. And now they also buying this GIP, Global Infrastructure Partner. Okay, Global Infrastructure Partner is one of the biggest US company having a lot of investment over energy, over airport, all that. They also constructed airport even in our region. So now, last January, they already make an announcement to buy GIP, and I think by the third quarter of this year, they're going to have total control over GIP. And at the same time, we know now suddenly BlackRock also interested to buy our MHB because Khazanah and EPF already announced that. You see, so now we are concerned about why suddenly you allow BlackRock, sponsoring Israel, paying all these US defense manufacturer, and Satan now bought over GIP and now want to buy our MHB. So everybody concerned about why now this Zionist company, the front is BlackRock basically, sponsoring this, But my also concern at the same time, even a few years back, BlackRock also sponsoring Pfizer. Pfizer also is one of our concern about this pandemic, last 4 years, and I've been keep talking about the concern about this pandemic, and now this coming IHR amendment supposed to be negotiated and discussed by tomorrow, in Geneva. So my concern now, apart from Zionists coming in, try to buy our airport, but for the last 4 years they already coming in, using this Pfizer. They invest Pfizer about 7%. With also together with Vanguard, and together they are the main shareholder over Pfizer. So I think now time for all of us to see to what extent Zionists actually, apart from using BlackRock, as a multinational investment company to sponsor their missile product to attack Gaza, but at the same time you must also concern they also sponsor Pfizer, to use this fraud pandemic, and now having this mRNA vaccine, Pfizer. You see, mRNA vaccine is one of the dangerous experimental vaccine, because 4 months before the pandemic, Pfizer had made an application to the US Security Commission, because they want to have public funding at that time, before BlackRock coming in. Pfizer had made this application, Form 1, in September 9 of 2019. So in this application, it says that their novel product over this mRNA, it may not work as intended. It may cause side effect. It will be very cost and risky to have even a clinical trial. So they have already put all this disclaimer. And BlackRock also buy this investment, and then all of us get jabbed. And now we are concerned about a lot of people having this FI and death over this experimental vaccine. A lot of media, they curtail our media, So not many people really know about this, because they thought that this is just something that only the anti-vaccine, or this is just it's not true, because the main media, saying that all this actually is not true. And why it's not true? Because they curtail the media. But they cannot curtail over this Israel thing. For time being, their major important strategy now to curtail over the using public health policy in a wrong way. I think they are now curtailing this for now. But they cannot stop other information, like the concept of Gaza, all that. Because I realized for the first time, this public policy, fraudulent public policy issue that they use, because about 7 billion people, or about 194 countries accepting this pandemic and this vaccine. So I need to raise this again issue, because why? Not just because our airport possibly will be controlled by the BlackRock or through the Zionists, but I believe, my real concern is that there will be a continuous lockdown and continuous agenda of immunization.
So this is if tomorrow's discussion actually goes favorable to Pfizer?
To WHO.
To WHO, sorry.
WHO. But last 2 weeks, in USA, out of 36 countries in USA, 22 states are actually opposing that. Their Attorney General, dia punya Pengguna have wrote letter to John Biden to stop this IHR or to exit WHO. They already have put this strong letter to them. Plus also about 49 Republicans also have raised this concern and wrote letter to Biden. So interesting to see that more than 2/3 of the country in US have wrote letter to Biden.
So why haven't we done the same?
That is why I'm really worried and concerned for the last 4 years, when we keep engaging to some of the MPs and we send letters to all the MPs.
When I hear you talk about all these issues, it dwarfs the current issues that we are focusing on. for example, if you look at politics, for example, we are focused on racial politics, identity politics, and all these injustices and all this, when people should be focused on this because this is a direct threat to our living, our survival rates, the species. Do you think that these other issues, other narratives like about race and religion and all this are being thrown into the public narrative space, the discussion space, to stop us from discussing these type of issues that are more important than your race and religion?
Okay, I think I can see got two reasons about this. One, I think is because of course, I agree with you. It's totally diversion. They want us to divert into real issue. You see, so they create this race issue, religion issue. That's one I can see diversion. Second is because of, de facto history. You see? Of course, there is race, there is religion. You see? So people sometimes harping on this race and religion, to protect themselves. But having a very narrow-minded about what is race, what is religion. You see? Yeah, so that is my concern because of these two factors. That's why when I talk about this vaccine thing, I told to some of my friends, you want to talk about maqasid syariat. You see, one of the important in Islam, the purpose of Islam basically is they call it maqasid syariat.
What does that mean?
Okay, they got 5 things. One is to take care of your ad-din or religion, because in Islam it's not just religion, it's ad-din, it's way of life. To take care of your ad-din, way of life. To take care of over your life, your nyawa. To take care of your ancestry, your keturunan. To take care of your harta. You see, so everything is there basically to take care about your body, your autonomy. You see, but as I say, now coming back about this virus, about this vaccine thing, we does not even protect our maqasid syariat, our body, our life. Don't talk about our fundamental right under our federal constitution, Article 5, to protect our self and our liberty. You see? But this is just a basic natural right. Our autonomy, our body autonomy. Yeah? So I can see that why we don't follow even the Islamic precept among most of our scholars, among our Muslim leader today. You see, you talk about maqasid syariat. Okay, go deeper. Another 2 questions I said. Okay, you talk about you have to always investigate. Every time I go to any ceramah, tayabun, referring to certain surah in Hujurat, all that.
What does tayabun mean?
Must always investigate first. Investigate.
Okay.
You cannot take information just lightly like that. You see? Investigate. But we never investigate. And then we talk about halal toyiban. Or you want product must be halal and in good manufacturing or so on. You see? What about vaccine? Experimental. And some more the novel one like mRNA. Never been done before. You see? Have we really checked on this? Why we just rely WHO statement and we just follow through?
But just one kickback on that. When you talk about these Islamic principles, Islam, especially in its earlier form, was a very progressive, very science-based religion.
Correct.
A lot of inventions come from Islam. I think Islam also was the first to invent the filtration system using gravity. Right? So there are a lot of amazing things Islam has done. But in a modern space, Muslims may not be able to do the discerning, the analysis, the questioning as you want because of the community itself. Because in Islam, and I've spoken to a lot of Muslims who say that no, we have to rely on scholars. So the individual's ability to critique, to analyze is dwarfed because I can't say anything because I have to rely on scholars. Could that be a mistake?
Yeah. This is one of the. I not say is the only mistake. This is one of the mistake a lot of Muslim leaders harping on this idea. Not just the Muslim leader, in fact the Western leader also. They say that for the greater good, you have to follow what we say. Like even like vaccine thing, Macron, French president say last time like that. How dangerous this pandemic, and then how dangerous people who are anti-vaccine. So they're creating this. United Nations Secretary General also says the thing, for the greater public good, you have to follow from top. So today here in Malaysia also, it's the same thing. You see, whether the Muslim scholar or our top leader today, it's all about, what we say is true. You just follow us. Most of the law is all giving power to the top to decide things. You see, we actually taking from the previous colony law, basically, from the British, from the imperial, like what you said just now, the Seditious Act, Printing Act, even the Usuri Act, because Usuri Act was also being done before the independent. They're already building this. Before having Bank Negara, we have what they call it, Board Commissioner of Currency Malaya. This is our Bank Negara at that time, controlled by British in 1934. It started in 1934. You see, when they passed this Bank Negara, the Board Commissioner controlled by British was still there until 1984. For the last 25 years after independence, Bank Negara was not controlled by our own people. So they control the usuri, they control the money. See, that's why I said, you want to talk about maqasid syariat, basic maqasid syariat under one of the Islam precept is muamalat. Muamalat is about business, about deal, about economics.
Okay.
So when you talk about muamalat, so no riba, no usuri. Why our money is riba? Why lending is riba?
What is riba again?
Riba is basically something under the Arab terminology. Riba is something is not belong to you. Something is very exploitative. Basically, it's exploitative.
Okay.
So today we see that we are actually not following our market share among the Muslim as regard to the usuri, as regard to the vaccine today.
Now, again, that you mentioned, we talked about the Sedition Act. You touched on it just now. A lot of, in fact, as I was telling you, yesterday was the Congress for Bersih's Congress, and Dato Ambiga mentioned that the government has been very slow in implementing the changes they have promised. For example, free speech, removal of the Sedition Act, and all that. We are also seeing nowadays more and more censorship of online content under the guise of that this may contain hate speech or any element of 3R, which is race, religion, and royalty. Do you think that things have become worse under this government in terms of censorship, in terms of freedom of speech and all that?
Yeah. I think this present government, because they are the one who want to reform all this with all their manifesto, fighting against Seditious Act, all that. And now when they are in the government today, I can see a lot of people have been censorship. I myself have been censorship many times also in my Facebook. Where they said. Facebook told me that under the MCMC law, our Malaysian law, this thing cannot be circulated, but your information can be circulated to other country. So you can see that we are come back come back where the government become very totalitarian, very autocratic.
You are a lawyer, so I think it's good for me to get your input on this. When we talk about freedom of speech, in a Malaysian context, what exactly can a Malaysian say or not based on our law?
I believe you can say just anything, even against the corrupt government. Even you can say about like what some people say, because the news came like from Bloomberg about this forest city, this casino thing, all that. Why you censor some of people? Why you charge some of my other political friends? Maybe I don't agree with certain thing, but as far as censorship, this is wrong. I mean, other country can say that. Our own people raising this concern, you censor them. It's just a basic thing. So using a Seditious Act is very. It's high time actually to abolish this Seditious Act.
Why do you think government, especially ours, is so? As once said by Khairi on the Keluar Sekejap podcast, he used the term cepat koyak. They get very sensitive when people say things, when they have come up through the way of commenting against BN and all this, 1MDB and all these fiascos and all that. Why can't they accept a critique? And another thing, just please give your opinion. Isn't it better to allow the people to speak freely? Because when they speak freely, you don't pent up their frustrations. It gets released, and it's actually better for you in the long run because they can just speak among ourselves. We can promote ideologies that we care for. Why do you think they are so against it?
You see, as I say, we are in a system where in politics, a lot of people having vested interests, very narrow-minded political inclination. You see, with vested interest, with the narrow-minded of their political vision, That's why they always get scared. You know, when they are in the opposition, they will say, "Wow, taking out this Seditious Act, must give distribution to all the people. No more so much money given to the corporate. No abuse of power, helping the SME increase our production, all that." When they are in the government, they can't do that. They cannot speak to that. Like what even Rafizi say last year, kita tak boleh buat reformasi kerana ada beberapa perkara kerana terikat dengan kerahsiaan, peraturan kerajaan semua. Why you want to say that? Why you want to say that? Even Rafizi. You see? Why you terikat with all that? If you want to reform, now you are in the government. You should say out loud, this is wrong. Even you say, okay, this statement is wrong, but you must touch. Maybe this ACTA Official Secret Act must be revised also. You must be willing to speak that. Because to me, why so many things all under OSA, Official Secret Act? You see, for me, even like in UK, I remember when I do my law, about one case, GCHQ case, about very concerned about the security information to be leaked in public. But at least the judge say like that. Okay, never mind. If we cannot leak to the public, let me have a look for me to decide. You see, because the judge is very independent. You see, to balance between the interest of the people, the freedom of speech, right to know, but at the same time the importance of the information of the intelligence. You see? But at least the judge have come to a middle ground. Okay, cannot leak to the public, but I also must know before I make a decision. You see, so at least the judge are very independent to solve this kind of problem. But here we are, we are just too feudal, too lag behind. You see, we are now moving forward into like what I say, we are in the Web3, all kind of things. With the digital thing coming out, all that. How we want to handle this AI, all that. You see, but we are still back. Very far back, in terms of handling our policy, our government today. Charge this, try to discourage open discussion, open debate. Like even like our public policy. For the last 4 years, we've been talking about this issue, about this pandemic, this IR, but they've been censor us all around, all the time. So I can see this how all the government doing the same thing, and why this thing happen. When you can only talk when you are in opposition, when you're in the government, you cannot talk because of the system.
The system curtails you. You have to play by the rules if you want to survive.
Yeah,
that is politics. Now, speaking of politics, I think let's go. The main reason why I called you onto this podcast, and again, thank you for obliging to come, is that I wanted to know more about you and your party. Parti a lot of people may not know this, but Parti Rakyat Malaysia actually was among a lot of their members made up the founding members of Parti PKR, which is now, of course, Anwar's party. But I want to go to, of course, just before we touch that, obviously now there are certain hot topics that is facing your party. Came out in Malaysia Kini, if I'm not mistaken, Free Malaysia, I can't remember, but it came out. There is, of course, a person who is claiming the presidency from you, Dr. Rohana, who recently held a meeting in Port Klang, if I'm not mistaken. And she basically called an extraordinary general meeting. So it was suggested that she did this because of in-party fighting. So, sir, what are the reasons for the current in-party fighting, and what's the status of your party currently?
Okay, basically, it started when I was being elected as the president on the 5th November last year. I was elected during our meeting, and after that, some of them are not satisfied over my election.
Okay.
Then they have another special meeting, over this concern. And then later they having a illegal congress or the extra general meeting where suddenly Rohana become president.
And sorry, but she was the past president as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a past president. I was a bit surprised because the group who are against my election is Dato' Ezam's group at that time. Actually, if they are smart enough, they just can wait another JKP meeting and just can having another meeting and throw me out because it's all about majority. that time majority support me. Is it because our party is like any other party? Either the power given to the every general meeting every year, the Congress, or no, or even during our JKP meeting, is it our main Jatuan Kuasa meeting. So anything can be done either through Congress or JKP. But my concern for the last 5 years when I was in the Parti Rakyat, because I started in 2017, you see, a lot of people don't attend meeting. You see, they only attend meeting if they want. Because there's a change of leadership to appoint something, because to lobby all that. So a lot of these things happening among in politics like that, you see. But people who are really real concerned over the people, over politics, you must attend the meeting. You see, even sometimes the meeting, is just very dry. You see, so I can see during my PRM meeting, I can see this thing also happen. You see. Like other politics, they want something, they will come all the way to fight over the meeting. If not, they don't bother to come for the meeting. So, come back to me, if they don't satisfied with me, I will call another meeting also, and then they can come also and decide, if they don't like me or some other members. But what they do, they go beyond that. They're having a special meeting and then having an illegal congress. And suddenly, Rohana become president, and I was surprised because it came out in the paper. And before that, he was saying in the paper also, why you put Izam as the deputy president?
Exactly.
And now now both of them work together. So this is something is very wrong. I already informed ROS, wrote a letter to them also, that we actually really abide by our party constitution. They are in the wrong, so we just waiting our internal party to resolve this lah. In fact, I already sacked 6 of them, you see. But Rohana, we will try to talk to her lah. Because he's our party leader before. We don't want to entangle so much about this minor issue. I don't know also at the same time why she end up together.
But she was actually very vocal previously about the appointing of Dato' Izam, citing that he was an ex-PKR and UMNO man and all this, and saying that the death of the left party, right? So now they are working together.
That's what I can see during the illegal congress, because I got information at the time. You see that Izam was talking to her all that. So I thought, maybe Izam will become president and she become deputy or something like that. You see, because most of the members who are against my appointment at that time, my election, are come from the Izam group. So I know Rohana also have no numbers. Because that meeting I can saw, the numbers also, it's not come from Rohana's numbers. You see? But suddenly Rohana become president. So I think I don't know what kind of
deals they did
strategically. But now, at the same time, it's wrong.
It is. Yeah. But of course, after that appointment, there was another news release that she has in fact approached MUDA and PSM and discussing about they want to strengthen ties. So perhaps one could speculate that this could maybe result in her PRM or her being president wanting to join the third force and all that. Do you think that the partnership of PSM and MUDA is something that is a viable partnership, and can it actually be a considerable force against the current coalitions or keeping them in check?
MUDA, okay, of course, is a young party just being formed by Sheikh Saddiq. I don't know whether Sheikh Saddiq is still with MUDA.
No, he's resigned.
He's resigned, right? And MUDA was set up by him, and also because he was aligned with Tun Mahathir, with Pejuang. So I don't know now what kind of MUDA having a direction. But I'm very happy to have various political party getting young leaders to come in, you see. But the question is what kind of agenda, what kind of objective they want to do, in politics to get the young people to come in, But I welcome them if I have the time to discuss with them.
But is it possible for parties like PRM, which is a left party, to actually maintain their values in the face of partnering or creating any sort of pact or collaboration or coalition with MUDA, for example, which is a very, very capitalist party? Their members are all very well to do, and they are all capitalists.
Yeah.
Is it? Are you able to maintain your values still?
Okay, if you look at our party is basically founded on people aspiration. It's people. If you look closely at our constitution until today, I've just put here also, you see, our objective of the party until today, since 1955, is still relevant because we basically for the people.
Okay.
We're not based on race, based on religion. At the first place also, this party is a Malay political party at the time because after the PKMM, Pertubuhan Kebangsaan Melayu Muda, Melayu Melaya was disbanded in 1946 because this group of people was actually fighting against Malayan Union. You see, especially why our Raja signing this Malayan Union, you see, so our rakyat feel dissatisfied and form this PKMM, and then British feel that it is a threat to them, disbanded them. Then the Malay decided we have to have a political party. One start with UMNO based on race, one start based on religion, one based on rakyat, which is Parti Rakyat. So you have Malay political party, using one based on race, one based on religion, one based on rakyat. But these two become mainstream political party even until today. Maybe UMNO no longer, you see, but PAS still remain because of this religion idealism. You see. But at the same time, we believe now, apart from this idealism, which is actually misinterpreted or misunderstood or misdirected by the leader today, because I feel sad. I got a lot of friends from PAS. Even I've been talking to them about, you want to solve this Malaysian problem, you take out this riba, this usuri. There's no way out. Because this is superstructure, this is very fundamental. You see, this capitalist, because when I talk even from my friend, this socialist friend, you see, even Dr. Nasi, I'm very close with Dr. Nasi, you see, maybe he will listen over my talk over this, you see. I'm every week with him, because he's my neighbor, you see. Okay. He's 20 years in PSM. So we discuss about this concern, and I say, Parti Rakyat all time is rakyat based. Of course, the concept of socialist is quite a very strong ideology at the time, but it's actually come from the foreign word socialist. But in fact, if you menolong seseorang tanpa gaji, you are actually pekerja sosial lah, social activist. Doing things without asking in return. In fact, when I talk to my late President Arifin Saliman, I've taken over from Arifin Saliman. Okay, Arifin Saliman is one of the earliest leader because he also one of the founder with Ahmad Bostaman. He was 70 years old at that time in 1955. Wow. So a lot of story was not written. I got from him. Talking about the idea of rakyat, socialist, why we are leftists, why we are rightists. No, he said no. Dia kata we are actually all time is rakyat based, have nothing to do with leftists and rightists. But the concept of socialist was bring from the Europe, because at that time the concept of capitalist and socialist was really important. Yeah. So we bringing this angle. But coming to this Nusantara, this region. The socialist was actually being changed into evil.
Yes, of course. The Red Army
terminology.
Yes,
Red Army. Socialist is actually is communist. Communist is against religion. Is opium. All that kind of thing. So socialist was wrongly or become misnomer basically lah. But the important thing, we are actually riot based. Doesn't matter even you are social or even you are capitalist. I mean, whatever ideology you have, as long we are riot based. But the important is at the end of the day how to make sure every riot feel safe, feel progress in our own country. So that's why when I look in our constitution, we can see the important thing is having a freedom of thought. And second one, I can see one of our important constitution objective is to guarantee the right to work, affirming the payment of justice and truth in accordance of religious precept. So and accepting freedom of religion. So I can see that you want to find the truth and justice. You see, certain religious precept, you can find from there. See, like me, apart from when I study about money trail, I did study from Christian books. I study from economic point of view. I study in the power of mathematics like MV equal PY. I study all this. It's a mechanism. Where is gone wrong? You see? And then when I go into the Quran, I can see Quran also explain the same thing. About the riba is exploitation. You see? Exploitation is like if you steal somebody belonging, that is robbery. If you cheat somebody to get certain benefit, that also actually is cheating. Cheating, robbery also is usuri. But today, robbery, cheating, it become already a criminal law, whether in Western or other civilization. But there's one usuri is being protected until today.
Which is?
It's the banking system.
Oh, yes.
This is a big robbery protected by law. It's allowing you to cheat all the time, creating money out of thin air, creating interest. You see, creating bogus money. So that is why when I study deeper on that, then I start realize, we have a bigger problem. It's not just what I study book of Marxism, Lenin, or even Engel. You see, they call it Marhen. I never use the word Marhen normally because Marhen, apart from using from Sukarno, Marhen also means Marxist, Hegel and Engel. You see? So for that reason, it become Marhen. You see, so whatever study about exploitation of labor using capital, all that. But now we have much deeper problem. It's not just exploitation of capital and labor. It's now controlling your money, which is not having value. Lending, creating interest and fraction reserve banking, out of thin air. So you have bigger problem today.
Fair enough. And I completely agree with you, sir. But one of the problems with socialism or the left side is that people have criticized y'all for having a disconnect with the people. I give an example, even in the KKB by-elections. If you look at the research done on the voters in KKB, a lot of their concerns were focused on their daily livelihoods, like the power to earn, job security, youth engagement. These were the main focuses. But even also, I can't remember which news channel that went down and interviewed families, and their answers were they would vote for PH because they're getting bantuan. Right? This was the common answer, especially among the Indian voters, I'm talking specifically. But when your candidate went on, she mentioned that she wanted a more transparent government and all that. Do you think that these ideologies that you stand for, PRM stands for, and even yourself and other socialists, may not be striking the right tone with the voters? It's not in tune with what they want?
No, okay. One thing. First, I think, of course, is a last minute decision to have election at that time. Of course, we have scrutinized the candidate, and this is the best candidate we have at that time, Hafiza. And we have usually spell out our manifesto.
Yes.
You see, even on the very first day, on a Saturday, we come out with a manifesto, with 6 manifesto. 3 about economics, 1 about infrastructure, 1 about concern about the older people, all that, and some welfare commitment, and 1 about the COVID-19. If you look closely about these 3 economic that we suggest, which later our PH, PN also using basically the same thing when I look about their manifesto, it's basically the same thing. Having eco-tourism, and also we extend to have herbs, port and something like that. But at the same time, the important thing is our economy without its usuri, tackling IKS and a cooperative to all the area or all the taman. So our focus is basically economy. Apart from, of course, our concern about transparency, all that. But I think the news haven't really picked up this.
Yeah,
you see?
Of course.
There's a lot of censorship.
Correct.
Because I know my first day on Saturday when I say a lot of things, I can see some of them don't pick up. And then on Thursday also, a week after that, we're having a big media in Kuala Kubu also. They didn't come, only one of them come also. So I realized they don't really pick up the issue, maybe because of editor censorship and so on.
Okay. Now, speaking of which, again, we see now in Malaysia, we see a rise in incidences that are how do I say, disturbing racial peace and harmony, sensitivities and all that. We see recently there was one guy who went to Batu Caves and started chanting verses from the Quran and all this against the backdrop of Batu Caves, the socks fiasco. we see a lot of these issues coming up now. Who do you think is to blame for this current rise in these type of issues? Suddenly we are seeing this rise of these type of issues.
This religious issue, giving all this uncalled statement, all these remarks, as I say, you see, of course, this is a very great disharmony. I'm also against that. Yeah, like even the sock issue, all that. Suddenly, why this thing can happen? You see, of course, over 28 stocks only. You see?
Yes, exactly.
Not a big stock over the Kalimat Allah, all that. You see, but the way this thing has been hyped, you see, my concern about why all these things happen today, like particularly in Malaysia, particularly in Malaysia, it's not like other countries. It's just in Malaysia because it's based on race and religion. The country was forefront because having Islamic and the Malay. Because the only way you want to be Islam, you must be Malay, speak Malay, all that. This is the only country you have, not even Indonesia, is it? But at the same time, this feudal approach, have been keep encouraging this, is it? All the way. You see, the growth of elitists, the capitalists, you see, working together hand in hand, you see, and giving this mental subsidy, this, what they call it, culture dependency, you see, all this while, you see. So most of the Malay become helpless, become so, what do you call it, manja lah, cannot go out. How to do even business, like I say. Our IKS, Malay IKS, until today terkapai-kapai. But now, for me now, after the Kuala Lumpur, I can see the rise of even the Chinese IKS. Because, as I say again, the present government now, even DAP, are going into all this big corporate agenda to increase the economy, not the SME. So coming back about this religious issue, it's just a diversion. It's just a diversion because the most important is actually the livelihood of the people. I agree totally about livelihood. That's why I tengok kita punya parti untuk dapat right bekerja. Kita tak ada dalam constitution. Our federal constitution, we don't have this right of work, all that. You see? The economic rights. You see that? So
that's very important.
That's one of the important, I think, our fundamentality have not put in our federal constitution.
Okay.
You see?
Now, PRM is, of course, known for being a multicultural party and it promotes multiculturalism among people. Where does things like the NEP or affirmative action and social contract fall into the party's ideology?
You see, after the 13 May, Dasar Ekonomi Baru NEP, New Economic Development, they want to have reduce poverty, create more inclusive among the race or even intra-race, you see, to uplift our economy. But as I say again, you see, the problem because our fundamental have never been changed. Our fundamental about the usuri have never been changed. Our money is just a fiat money. It's not backpacked by any gold. It's not some sort of barter trade.
They remove the
so
gold standard,
it's always being devalued. It's always being devalued. And this money, the supply of money is controlled by certain people from the bank, central bank, all that. How they want to use it. They call it senorage. See, senorage means it's right of the first use. Person who control the power to create this money, they have the right of the first use. And then you allow the banking system, you see, lending at interest, right of the first use again. And then you creating money through collateral. You also another have senorage, right, against of the FRB. So when you see all this structure, this will be the major problem. That's why this NEP, you got all this Rancangan Malaysia until now, Rancangan Malaysia ke-11, you don't solve this problem. Because in order for a country to progress, you need either cash or credit. As simple as that, cash or credit. You either have cash or, if not, your knowledge, your skill, because that is your cash, that is your currency, your matter what. Your currency basically, if you don't have money, it's all about your thinking, your value about your kemahiran and all that. You see? So I can see that our life is all because of this. Second is credit, because to move things, you see. So credit. But what kind of credit? What kind of credit? Today, the concept of credit is lending with interest. You see, not credit helping people, not credit sharing risk and benefit. You know, joint venture exercise. You know,
But is that idealism speaking, sir?
no, it's not idealism. It's so easy to be done. It's so easy to be done. Why is so difficult? Because all the time we already being control our mind to believe the way of life, the way of progress is debt. The way of life is debt. Tak ada hutang tak boleh maju. Tak ada hutang, bank tak bagi duit. You see, they have believed that, and some of even of my friend, you know what he say? Not just that. Dia kata, Ahmad, this is my money. Why I cannot lend with interest? So until like that, they are thinking, this is my money. I should lend by interest. But I told them, if everybody do like that, then we have problem. You see, because when you allow the system creating money out of thin air like that with interest is not money, it's just a new money. I give you another simple mathematics again. I give you money. Money is only in the market. Let's say got 5 ringgit in the market. I give you 4 ringgit for you to develop, for you to produce banana, for example. In return, end of the year you pay me 10 ringgit. Don't pay me in banana, but pay me in 10 ringgit. So you already got 4 ringgit. If you go at other market, you try to take this 1 ringgit, you get 5. You still cannot pay me 5 ringgit.
Yeah, okay.
Because the thing never in existence at the first place. So the system of this usuri is very dangerous. Because the interest is never been existed. And today you can see our world debt economy, world debt clock, tweaking every day, just interest rate. So why over time this thing just increase?
Yeah, understand. Yeah.
So
we are perpetuating the debt
so
culture.
what I'm trying to say that I'm not idealistic. This is a real concern.
Okay, so that means I when I hear you speak, there was once I read this book. I'm sure you've read it. It's called Animal Farm. It's a very it's a very beginner's guide to politics book that you must
very
read.
good book.
And I thought, and another book that I would like to call upon is mention is by Dr. Farish Noor, called "What Your Teacher Didn't Teach You." The annex lectures, fantastic book as well. When I read these books, I realized that perhaps the entire problem of what you're talking, the debt culture, our problems, the way we process racism or social harmony, everything stems from the classroom. Because these children are not being taught these things. They are not being exposed to these things.
Correct.
If I read Animal Farm when I was a kid, I think the politicians will have a lot of problem.
Correct.
Because they will like, I don't know, you're talking, or even books like The Prince.
Yeah, if that book become compulsory,
Finish. They will like, we can't cheat these people, they know. So are we willingly, is this orchestrated negligence to dumb down our people?
Yes.
And shouldn't then we replace subjects like, I don't know, geography or maybe, and ask them instead, read these books and build your mind? Shouldn't that be the focus?
Yeah, correct. I agree. We need a total overhaul of our education system as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Because if I know the things you know now, I only know this recently because my job I had to learn, and so I learned all this. But when I was in a school, I didn't know all these things.
Yeah.
What you know is what's said in the papers. Oh, this fellow said this about Hinduism. That fellow said this about Islam. That's all.
Same goes with me. If I were to know what I know 30 years ago, I might be a much more different people also. I don't know where I'm going also.
And it'll be very hard for the government to get away with things.
Yes. Agree.
Now, I want to wrap this up by a few things. Firstly is, as the president of PRM now, what is your vision for your party?
My vision, we have to come back to the basic thing. As I say, we are the people-centered party. I want to say that our party is neither right or left in a way. We are just centered for the people. To empower the people, to emancipate the people, to give democracy, a real democracy. Because even pemerintah also is the people. But we allow them to become pemerintah because they can work with us. They can be together with us, like what they call in Malay, bagai au dengan tebing. We are just part. Some are better to lead, so become pemerintah, become executive, become judiciary, become ahli parlimen. What is much great about that? That is just a responsibility. In fact, that responsibility I also don't want to carry. It's very hard even for me to take this party leadership. I know, not easy to how to change the first is the mindset. But again, when you see that now what happening around us today, I told my friend yesterday about this. I said, okay, this usuri, this riba, when I realized that last 15 years, I sell all my house. I don't want to take any loan. I decide that I'm taking that risk because I realized that what I do actually, I create this riba and create misery to the whole world. So I just do whatever I can do, not borrowing anything. But I know this system create a lot of problem, create inflation, high price, and I told some of my friends among the Muslim, okay lah, if this riba, use this riba to bring prostitute, ikat Bukit Bintang, this riba sudah kaya, create this judi or put some not halal food, like even babi as a Muslim also. I'm still okay with that because I will tell to my children, you don't go Genting Highland, you don't take loan, you don't take babi or something like that. I said. But now when I see this usuri through IMF, World Bank, WHO, sponsoring pandemic and vaccine us, then I said, what the hell, this is much dangerous. Because now affect my children, myself. So that's why for the 4 years, I'm being very, very angry about this thing and very concerned because now affect your daily life. Yeah, because this vaccine is like you're taking what Russian roulette. You want to take a Russian roulette? You see?
Anything can happen. It's
anything
just
can happen.
The will of the dice.
Will of the dice. Okay. Coming back again. Sorry. I think I want to interject because you said what is the expression of our party. As I say, we are people-centered. We want our basic nature as a human being, you see, must be guided based on truth and justice. What I'm trying to say that as long if we guided by our natural law, our fitrah, our basic thing, and this basic thing should govern our technology. So I want to say this again. Important that not technology control us. Not the economy or the system control us. We actually must take care over the system. We have to find way. Like the usuri. My suggesting is either you have to nationalize the bank or basically pressure the government, you see, that money lending must be given more to the IKS sector. You see, if failing which, you cannot solve this problem.
Sir, I know we are a bit out of time, but I have this question I want to ask you. When you talk about all these things, you must know for yourself that it will not resonate with the common folk. Especially at certain income levels and all that. I'll give you an example. When they did an interview for people in, was it Perlis? I can't remember which state it was. But what had happened was the ruling government at that time had sponsored them Umrah trips, right? Just by that, they support the government at that time, right? I'm not saying anything wrong with Umrah or anything. What I'm saying is they don't concern themselves with things like this. Even if you were to tell them, they won't. They'll be like, "Oh, this just flies off my head," because this concern is not something that I am immediately concerned about. It's not an immediate threat to my livelihood. So, do you think that perhaps parties like PRM, parties like PSM, and all this should keep this in mind? Because this is important, right? But you are sort of putting yourself in a no man's land because the B40 won't necessarily care about this first because it's not an immediate threat. The M40 are more capitalist. They want to be free. They are still thinking that with socialism they will be chained by the shackles of your party. So do you think that is limiting the growth of the left in this country? And parties like yours, I know you're centre, but traditionally the entire perception is you're a left party. So instead, maybe when campaigning, to campaign on issues that are immediate threats first, and when you go into places of power, then you can implement these type of reforms.
Yeah, of course. I agree with that. Apart from fundamental issue and the symptom issue, and how to respond all the symptoms, like livelihood. In fact, there's a study also a few years ago about this M40, B40. Basically, they've got four major reasons their problem. One is because they only have one job, which is not a high income job. Having a big family but one income job. Second is because of kebutangan, a lot of loan lending. Third, don't have even a house. And then cost of living very high. So it's all about basically economics. You see, you can see that. You see, of course, I agree that when we converse, you see, and we have to raise this issue. You see, why cost of living very high, very high. How government have to solve it. In fact, yesterday, our PRM have decided to go into the issue of this quick rent, cukai pintu.
Yes.
You see, because last
I think yesterday, Friday.
We already raised concert in Kuala Kubu. So yesterday, my SecGen and some other members went to Selayang. We have a press conference. Concern about now we have a very high cost of living. All that. Why government now still increase our quick rent? You see. So we also want to raise concern about that. You see. So I agree. All these symptoms must be addressed immediately at the same time. But at the same time, must always remember this is our main fundamental issue. Because, as I say, apart from to resonate with your normal people, the voter, the riot, and the normal people, but we also have to actually tackle, people who have thinking. You see, how they realize that at the same time, what you do also, causing the problem, and it affect your generation. You see, you said you can protect your family. Later, your family also cannot be protected. You see? That is my concern.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. In closing, please, I always give my guests this opportunity to have the closing word. So that's your camera, sir. Perhaps please share your final thoughts.
My final thought today is because we are facing a real concern today over IHR tomorrow, you see. This is because after the pandemic COVID-19, for the first time, we face a major lockdown for the last 4 years, a lot of stress, trauma, and great economic repression among the rakyat, and the increase of the suicide concern, all that. And we never expect that we've been locked down. But this IHR, this coming tomorrow, will be discussed in Geneva. They want to actually to give more power to WHO. So my concern is that if the government allow WHO to have more power, basically our sovereignty, our human right will be taken away. So I need everybody to realize this concern apart from our national concern about food security, high price and so on. So high time for everybody to speak up, I think. I don't know whether we need to do some civil disobedience and so on. Last time, we have harta. I remember in 1946, the only way to give the government a signal, why we are concerned, we don't buy goods, for one day, I don't know whether we need to think over this, to give signal to the capitalists, to the elites, now high time, you must really concern about our people, inshallah.
Oh, so this was actually something that happened before, Harta?
Harta, yeah.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Oh, you're not aware of that?
Yeah.
Because of Harta, they tahan about 14,000 people under the emergency ordinance. You see, in 1945-46, there's a lot of things happening. Apart from PKM was formed because of land union, some formed this Harta, and some this Congress, worker Congress, who was hanged. I remember who's that name, the Indian. I came for their remembrance. You see, he was the first leader, having about half of the workforce. And the government decide to hang him because suspect he having a revolver, something like that. So a lot of this concern during that time in 1945-46. You see, and that time some of the group had already prepared Perlembagaan Rakyat. Where UMNO prepared the Federal Constitution. We are already Perlembagaan Rakyat, where Malay, Chinese, Indian are also Malay.
Oh, wow.
They use their word like that. So a lot of things is not being shared, not being known for the public. All these are history already, you see.
Oh, I did not know this.
Yes, because you have to do something like in Indonesia.
Okay. Everybody is Indonesian.
Everybody Indonesian.
Yes, correct.
So the name Chinese no more. All the name Indonesian.
Yes,
something like that.
Okay,
inshallah.
Well, sir, thank you so much for coming on. That wraps up our discussion today. I know we didn't cover a lot of the questions because my initial conversation with you really derailed me, and I think I had such a fantastic conversation with you. I hope to have you back on. We can discuss more things about history and your party as well. But for the rest of y'all, if you guys have any questions, please share, comment, and I will connect y'all. We'll also be sharing the party's links together with my guest links today as well, so you can connect with him directly. And if you have any questions, speak to him. You want to support his causes, the party causes, please reach out to him. So till next time, guys, take care. Always, as always, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.